As a disclaimer, some of our episodes discuss topics that may not be fit for a younger audience. Some episodes also contain some swearing. This show was produced by the Geek Happy Network, constantly curious about the things we love. If you enjoy listening to Represented, remember to subscribe to the show on YouTube or on your favorite podcast app. Remember to leave a review. We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Hi, I'm Jamie Mack. Welcome to the Represented Podcast.
My name is Mick Narciso, and you are listening to the Represented Podcast.
What's up? My name is Robert Mudhama, aka Lucid.
Hi everyone, my name is Noni Rupia and you're listening to Represented Podcast.
A journey through the lives of everyday people
such as yourself.
Such as yourself.
Check me out on episode 2 of season 1.
Listen to me on episode 9, season 1.
Episode 7 of season 1.
I think I couldn't be more happier and more like myself now.
It opened my eyes to why I think and feel the way I do,
And they inadvertently teach me how to be more creative.
And I'm excited to share that story.
Our guest today, Ralph Kings, long-time friend. We've had a whole, I don't know how many hours of talking before this. One big thing we've talked about today is finding yourself. Ralph is an artist, and that's why we were talking a lot about this type of thing. And you're a rapper, producer, marketer, everything. You're kind of like...
ambition.
Yeah. The hustle continues 10 years later. Tell us, what has it been like? Dude, we met in high school. Man, we did some crazy things. It wasn't that long of a...
moments. Like I think I look back and I'm like, how old were we? Like yesterday, like I was telling you, like when we were having the conversation with my neighbor, and then he went to his house and and then I'm like, I was cooking, and I go like the things we did at that age. We were kids doing a mixtape in our house. Kids doing a mixtape in our house.
Yep.
We bought all these things ourselves, the microphone, whatever we could get, like whatever we needed, we bought, and we sat down and we'd spend hours. Like whether we were being dropped by our parents over there, or whether you drove there or whatever, it was just sitting there, pizza, and just working.
A mixtape is a mixtape called iRap that we created in high school, a group of us friends that came together.
Chunk of our achievements.
So that's what this mixtape is, and it's a piece of high school history for us that's so crucial. Why is it important for you, for example? Because we can both relate to this thing. We know what this is. Why is it important to you, though, that you can remember? You remember us bringing our minds together to create something like that, even if it's just a silly mixtape a bunch of teenagers made. Why do you think it's important to remember that and remember the things that went into creating it?
I think it's important because like it shows you what you can achieve when you work together, and that to me is like one of the most critical parts of working on that mixtape, you know, because from it, like the experiences learned from it. I mean, here are people who, like for me it was a big deal, and I don't know if Slim would have seen it the same way I did. Because like I was telling you when I was talking to Joe and telling him, yo, let's get these other guys on board. Because Slim was just, it happens cool. He doesn't care. Like it's gonna be done either way. Like he has the money to do it, whether it's studio sessions or whatever he was gonna do and stuff. But I knew like achieving it and making it as creative as possible, all down to the way it trickled down to even Edu G doing the artwork, was just like, it just showed like what you can achieve when you all just come together and just, do something selflessly, because you guys were dedicating time to something that you could have been doing anything else. you could have been like maybe home watching a movie, or you guys could have been having pizza somewhere, getting lit and stuff. You'd have done anything else, but everyone took, because we did it during the holiday season, I remember. And like we all would just like come in and work from morning till the evening, like driving home late. Even your parents might be worried and stuff, like, yo, where are you right now, and when time are you coming back home, and stuff like that. And we all dedicated like so much time into it, to build into that. And look what he did. It changed, and I believe that he's inspired other artists to be able to do their own thing. So that just shows you the power of like working together, which to me has always remained a factor that to me is the biggest. And not just working together collectively, like together, moving together as a unit where everyone enjoys what they're doing, and they will do anything to make sure that we're going to achieve this thing successfully, and you go ahead and do it. So even I carry it with me, like every time, like whether I'm thinking of like, I want to do a business with someone and stuff, I don't want someone to just to just do it. I want you to understand like
The
where are we
vision.
going? What's the vision? Because without a vision, then it's pointless. You see, for us, we were doing it, but there was something in it that made us all want to do it. That moment, yes, we enjoyed it, but there was something more deeper. I believe, like for you, like quite clearly, there was something deeper. There's a deeper meaning to it. Like maybe you need time to search into it, and but for me, it showed me like how big we could do it at that time, and you put it out, and people go like, yeah, that's
We
like
created something.
The whole thing. We changed. I think we changed. For some people over there, we might have just inspired a couple of people to be able to do what I really truly think, because Saints hadn't really embraced that musical aspect. For their rappers now who are coming over here announcing and selling their albums with curse words to the school. For us, I think it was like, it's the greatest achievement we've ever done. Like,
It's
looking
something
back,
concrete. It's a concrete example
like
of
how many artists out there doing albums, like they know it's hard. Like if you're an artist like who's been in the industry for long, it's hard putting together like an album or a mixtape and stuff. And here you have these kids who
They
believe,
just
like,
did it.
You know what? We can do it. And we did it. We did the mastering, we killed everything, we
Everything.
played our vocals, we did
we
everything
owned the
ourselves.
entire process from beginning to end.
Sampling, vertical.
we put our own money into it, and it's like, I think you see how we keep saying we were kids.
Yeah.
I think an interesting part of this conversation is the fact that, at least how I understand it, is we never respect what kids do. Because like, what are these kids doing? They're just doing that kind of thing. It's like,
You've reminded me of when I was mentioning the CTA
interviews.
the Clean Airwaves interviews. The Susan Gachuki, one of those. She is like one of the biggest people in Kenya. One, because like her great, is it her parents or her husband, one of them, are the owners of the Riara group of schools and Riara University.
Okay.
Again, who is she apart from that? She's one of the biggest influences in the music industry, even dating back to like her family. Like her great grandfather or someone in her family, great something, helped write the national anthem.
Yes,
number one.
that's true.
Number two,
Kibukosia, the rapper, the Kampmula rapper,
yes,
Marcus, is the son. Yeah.
So now you know where Kampmula got the influence
Of course.
the musical journey. She used to write plays. One of her plays had our own president, Uhuru Kenyatta, being directed by her. Like the president was part of the play, and he was a gardener or something, pretending to be Kateng Nyasi, the president. Like, so those guys had that foundation of, like having like someone to parents, like you were saying, like parents looking and appreciating what these kids are doing. She took that
and took it
and
seriously.
told them, you know what, you guys do whatever you're doing. And these guys were, she's listening to their music, and I'm like, what's And she told them, you know what, like sub-Sahara, and look at what they were, or look at where they are now. They're all doing something that they love. Like if you look at Tayo, I think also like the finding yourself now comes into Camp Mula when you now also look at that, because you look at how Ty or Tripper is now and who he is now. He's not the same person that he in his raps you can tell, because he has that conscious way of rapping even with his words and stuff.
He was just a cool kid
Exactly.
who had a moment and he didn't maybe even know what was
it
happening,
was, yeah.
but he had
But,
it.
yeah. Because I mean, your kids like I rap too. Like okay, so we all come together. Oh, now we are a group. We're putting out music. People love it. Boom, you're famous. And when you're famous, like your hands are sort of like tied, because everyone is watching and everyone. So when they broke up, it was like, whoa. Even to me, I was like, all eyes were on Kenya.
Because of them.
Because of them. Like, okay, for us, like us who grew up in high school and we knew them in a way, it's not, we know we can do that, but like when someone takes the torch and he puts it up there, you have to appreciate the effort.
You of course you can't be there.
cannot
Like you
say
can't start
anything
hating and be like,
otherwise.
we were there,
Like, we were there.
Yeah,
No,
no.
man. Like you did it. We were there, but you've
But
done it.
those guys
So
did
to,
it.
to me, it's still like, Kamula was. I still have the collection of their songs. Still go to Reverb Nation to check on their own stuff.
Okay.
That, I'm like,
Karun
because
is-
it reminds me of that moment.
Karungari is still doing her thing.
Her thing,
Yeah,
like
she's,
even her, she's doing some sort of different kind of
Yeah,
feel with the
she's
music,
found her-
soul and stuff.
Yeah.
And I love it. It sounds really creative. It's just her. Like it just feels like you can tell.
She was the sound of Kampula for
Kamula,
sure. She
yeah,
was the
definitely.
sound.
Don't forget who was producing Marcus.
It was Marcus, yeah. I think Marcus
yeah?
was a producer,
Yeah,
I believe.
Because with Marcus, like again, like the same way with Drake, like the producer, 40 is everything.
Yep.
Like the producer.
The beats
is-
and
the
that
beats,
and
catchy
Karungari
hooks.
on the hook.
Yeah.
That was
'Cause,
magic.
yeah, the guys could rap, but like
It was about the
it was
hook and the beats.
and the beats.
Dude.
And the swag.
And the
It's a whole
swag. They had
package.
that's the
It's a
thing.
they had the whole package.
It's never one thing, and those guys had a moment where they were able to capitalize on all of it
You
at
should
once.
watch that Gachuki interview. What you pick out from it is the experiences these people go to shape the success they've been able to accomplish with their lives. Apart from the music, like whether it's the business side of it, whether it's like it's been a whole journey for everyone. And when you look at it like that, you're like, it inspires you, and you learn so much more from these people, because you look at them in the sense of like they're famous and stuff like that, so you don't really know. I mean, it's like the way like me being an artist, there are people who look at me and they look at me in the shade of like I'm an artist. Like it comes to these things, like I don't expect Raf to to be into such stuff and stuff, and then but there are people who know me deeply and they know like, yeah, Raf knows how to go about this and that side, like the business aspect of this and stuff. He'll look more deeper into the details and stuff like that. Things that most people. So when you're looking at celebrities, sometimes you don't really understand what they're trying to like the things that they go through to be who they are and stuff. So like the interviews, then shout out to that guy. He's doing, and you are doing the same. And don't know where it's going, but it's inspiring too.
I appreciate it,
It's
man.
it's definitely crazy, man.
I appreciate it,
'Cause
man.
I
Like,
want to look back like at this like 10 years later again. That was the touch of the creativity that we had inside us that we put in every aspect that we did. Even just that small sprinkle, but it just this one says this. It's like, you guys have given me an idea, and then this, and then that, and then you're like, yeah, we are doing a project, man.
yep.
We are going ahead,
There was
we are
that
doing
it factor that could only happen when all of us were together.
together.
And it's
when Robe was
undeniable.
doing his I remember like Robe, I never used to listen to house music. Even when we finished high school, I still used to go to Blix with my friends who them never used to listen to house music.
I never used to
Before
go to
house
Blix.
music, yeah,
I
same
never
as
used to
me.
go to Blix. Yeah, I only
as
went there
me.
because of Robe. Yeah.
So like I take them to Blix, and they're like, what kind of music is it? And at that time, house music wasn't really banging yet.
Nope.
And then it bangs later when Avicii comes out
Yep.
and stuff. I'm like, but we were vibing to this
Already.
already. Like,
Already.
this is not- it's just that we didn't know, like how far we could have,
Yeah.
taken the journey.
Yeah.
Because like looking, and I'm saying that in reference to what I've gone through as an artist over the years. Like now you start meeting people, you start trying to get these connections, and you're doing this and you're trying that, you're trying to see what to bite from. And at that time we were doing hip hop. So like hip hop was the thing. But like now it came to also help me realize like, for us, we like to take that moment and make the most. And we're not just doing it, we're doing it because we want to do it and we enjoy doing it. So we always run with the moment. So Robert made me introduce guys to a lifestyle that he created for us with the influence of just making his own thing. One, making the house music beats, because that was crazy. With the reason, like, I used to see how he do those things. You don't even understand what's happening over there. You just know that he's making a beat. He's creating, you have to create this instrument from scratch. You're like, there's not just kick and you're just there making a kick and stuff. It was crazy. Like that was definitely. And Robert is also another definition of one of the people who inspired me to also produce, because I know all these guys taught themselves. They didn't know. Because they bring their beats and you're like, now I'm going to download it from Shadowville, because that's the site we are using. Shadowville or whichever other, I got some other places to download the beats or wherever we could get beats. But then you'd see the way they'd try and we're like, okay. I actually started playing with, the Fruity Loops from that. And I remember I asked Joe, how do you make a beat on this thing? This is like, you figure it out yourself. Now, I never took it seriously. Then 2015, I'm there trying to work on my mixtape. And this is something funny, yeah? The first time I ever tried to work on a mixtape was after Slim was doing it, because the agreement between me and Slim was this. Like now when we bring it back to Slim's mixtape, I rap, it was like, so I told Joe about it, and I told Joe, like, talk to Kina Jake and see if they'll come. And you guys jumped on board with it. So sort of in a way I orchestrated that, because Slim had the vision of making it so big, like pushing it to other schools and all that stuff. And for me, I knew, like, if we have Kina Joe and these other guys, they're creative, we can do something better than just doing it on our own, so we can push it further, So I told Slim, while you're doing your mixtape, then I'll be working on mine. So when you guys were also working on the mixtape on his side and stuff, anytime he needed my help, of course, I was jumping through. So he was throwing me beats. But unfortunately, we didn't even get to record even the first song at all. So that's why we bought the mic and stuff like that, because we're like, we'll do everything at Slim's. But we all focused on Slim's project. We finished it, and then now it was also like, now we are finishing school. Like, so now that fell apart and stuff. So now I go back to like, okay, just making music, kawaida. We'd make music with Slim once in a while. Me, I've already joined university. I think I was the first in our class to join university at that time.
Yeah? Okay.
And then, because you guys hadn't, because I joined in 2012 January. You just finished in 2011 and already joined. So, like, I'd find a way we do music and stuff. There is the first time we did this song with Fahrenheit after the first video we ever did, and that was in 2013 or 2014. It was called Better Than That. It was the first time ever we had done a beat that's not hip hop. It was confusing because now Slim is looking at me like, you're the hook guy. So I'm like, dude, I've never worked on a beat like this, because it's Afro, I've never worked on an Afro beat before. I'm like, it sounds good, and we saved up our money, went to Homeboys Radio, like Homeboys Studios, and so the first beat comes, as usual, we are picky. We're like, nah, man, this doesn't work. So we send it back. Another one is sent, we're like, nah. Then the third one was like, oh, hey, this one sounds nice, but what do you write? So, as usual, sometimes if I have mind block, I'll just ask you, like, what do you think when you listen to this beat, so that I can get a sense of direction on how I'm going to write the hook. So he goes like, it has to be a party song. I'm like, yeah, it's a party song because, it has that hype and stuff. So he goes like, something better than that. So he came up with a hook, repeating the words better than that, but it didn't really sound. So he gave it to me, and I'm like, let me rewrite this and then see what we'll do. So I rewrote it. Then I told him, this needs a cheek though. And as usual, we'd have our sessions where let's sit down and listen to what you have. And to be honest, those sessions are always pressure because you don't know if guys will like it or not. And I think for any artist, when you're playing new music to people, like even now when I upload music, I don't know what people will think, especially with me producing for myself. So these are new things. So it's a whole nother level. So you don't know what to experience or what to expect from people. So we did the song. So he plays the song at USIU. I told him, like, let me sing, like, I'll sing, but don't laugh at me because it sounds gay. Because now just imagine, you know how we were.
Yeah.
Like that you gay doesn't work. I told him, like, yo, don't laugh at me because this, just imagine a chick saying, he's like, don't worry, my nigga, I won't laugh. And then he's already like,
He's laughing already.
He's already laughing already. I'm like, fuck you, man. Just do this. So I sang it to him. So I sang it to him, and I don't remember like completely how it is, but when I perform, of course I do. But so I did the hook, and then he goes like, wow, shit. And then when I saw he was vibing to the hook, I went into my verse, and I did my verse, and the guy was just like, the fuck, like that was our it moment, to be honest. Like never in my life had I ever written a song that I ever listened to, and I'm like, I have a hit. And I see artists talking about it in their interviews and stuff. Like J. Cole will talk about how workout for him was like, he knew, like after all that, apparently when he was doing who that? Like when he was doing those songs and Can Get Enough, like they were telling, the label was telling him, those are not radio hits. Now that's when you have to understand like what's a radio hit, what's a mixtape, and what all these sounds are. So like he didn't have a song. He, like as much as he had the hits, but he didn't have a radio hit, something that the studio, like the label would say, like, now this is a radio song that puts you in front of the whole world, you know. And even when you look back at the Notorious movie, P. Diddy tells B.I.G. like, yo, rap on this juicy beat, and he's laughing. He's like, the fuck,
this soft music,
and he did it,
and it was one of his biggest.
It was his biggest. Like that shit was 100%. So it's the same thing. Like for any artist, you need to know what a radio hit is and a mixtape and stuff. You really need to understand your shit. So the same as like J. Cole. So for us, that was our it moment. We were like, this shit is a hit. So again, Fahrenheit, after listening to my verse, akasema, I think I'm gonna rewrite my verse. Like, help me with it. So we rewrote his verse. So he started his verse the same way I started mine. The verse starts with, okay, I'm fresh. He also starts with the same line, okay, I'm fresh, and then continues with like another different. So because we did it like that because again, I realized like when something is catchy, it's catchy and people sing it easily. So I figured that if his verse starts that way,
that's
mine
the catchy
starts
point.
the same way, that's also catchy. Because people don't listen to verses much, but the okay, I'm fresh will make them go like, these guys copied each other. Like you're interested now to listen to what we were saying. And so we did the better than that. Now I remember...
And you guys did a whole music video and everything.
Yeah. Fahrenheit. Rough Kings. And the beautiful SCB on the hook. Yeah. From 254. Cause we better than that. Okay, I'm fresh. Superstar, yes I am. Step up in a place, old chicks go damn. No bacon, all I do is go ham. Cause I blow up like bam.
The first time, and trust me, that's when I started getting a taste of how crazy it is being an artist, you know. So here we are. We tell this guy from Homeboys, like, there's those ones from Madarao, they think some young kids who don't know what they're doing. Guys have been working since IB1, Muko, you guy, we've been in the studio before, we know this shit. So he was like, I hope you guys amjaniangusha kwa hiyo beat and stuff. He's called Jules. Shout out Jules. He also helped Sim on his second mixtape. He did another mixtape. I also helped him. Okay. So I told him, don't worry, you just get to listen. So now here's what happened. Since we needed a chick for the hook, Slim goes like, yo, you try and find like some chicks, and then I also try to find some chicks. I'm like, okay, sir, let's see. So I'm in this class in Kemu town. So I'm there, skyscraper up, you're just seated there and just looking down at the road up, or you hear people crossing the road. So I'm just there thinking how, hey, this song is big, man. This is crazy. So, and I was also thinking, like, what would guys in Saints think when they hear this thing? They'll be like, oh, you guys did it again.
Yeah.
So I was looking for that moment.
Yeah.
I was still looking for that moment. Because to me, like, sense played a very big part in knowing that you have it. Like, you have it. Like, there's no doubt you have it. You have the talent and you can do it. So I decided to go to the washroom, and when I'm going to the washroom, I hear this chick singing. So I'm like, there's a chick singing nicely. So I peep into a class, and I'm like, I see this chick who were doing a unit within the university over there. She was called Esther. So I go like, hey, you have a beautiful voice. I didn't know you sing. She was like, yeah, I sing. I'm like, wow, you know what? I want to help. I want to mentor you, and also there's an opportunity I'd like you to take. As usual, since coming from the saints side of things, when you're expressing these things, you have to make them look like it's a big opportunity. Like, we make it bigger than life.
Sell it. You have to sell that thing.
You have to sell it, man. It's a good thing. I mean, it's a good business perspective when you're talking to people, and it's helped me a lot in a lot of things I've done. So she goes like, okay, like, what is it? Like, me and my friend, we want to do a song and we need a chick to sing. And she was excited. She's like, oh, I've never even sung. Like, for people, I've never even been in the studio. I'm like, trust me, your first time in the studio it's gonna be interesting, and you'll cherish the moment. And on top of that, like, it's not as easy as people think it is. Like, you go in there, and sometimes the words don't come out the way you want them to, and you mess up and stuff. So I told her we were supposed to go to the studio tomorrow. Now we were going to the studio, we hadn't even found a chick. Fahrenheit was really pushing it and saying like, yo, we have to record this song now. We were also hungry because we hadn't done something major together like in a long time. And we also we were still both chasing that we knew that if we release, we are all still friends on Facebook, so you'd get it.
Yeah, we'd see it.
I knew like, yeah, this is that moment again.
Can't
I think
slip
we really
up.
enjoyed it. So I told this chick like, I'll teach you the chorus, in the studio. So the next day, Fahrenheit said like, come to my house, we practice, and then later because the session was in the afternoon. Later in the afternoon, now we go. So we went to his place. So he goes like, yo, teach me the hook so that I can also sing the hook. So like, as usual, he wants to be in make sure he's present in the song. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I taught him. So so I'll sing this part and then you sing this part. So easy. So so later we link up. No, we linked up with the producer who we were supposed to work with. We thought we were going to Homeboy's radio, but he said like, no, we can't record there. So he took us apparently there's an artist called J.A. I don't know if he still does music. I also studied with J.A. in St. Nicholas back in between Form 1 and Form 4. He was in the KCSE place. Me, I was in IGCSE. So it was, at that time, I didn't even know he rapped. So he was an artist. So we were told like, this is J.A.'s studio, still quality. And I remember we walked into that studio and I was like, because it was a house in Langata. And then like, it was like the garage had been turned into a studio, and they had this equipment, like the mixer running from corner to corner. Mixers are expensive.
The table ones,
they're those table ones. It's the same also in the Homeboys, but this one, like, there was the way it was created, kind of like your space. There's that vibe. You want to walk into a studio and you feel like, oh, I'm at home, like I'm loving this space. As an artist, I think it's really important. So we walked into the studio and I'm looking at this equipment now. That equipment can be just that alone. That whole mixer alone can cost from 3 million going upwards. Like 3M, like having that, like, so I'm like, yo, this is a studio. So even Fahrenheit is like, yo, man, this is crazy. This is shit and stuff like this. So we're like, okay, so let's do this. So Fahrenheit, verse 1, he said he wants to go first. So I'm like, cool. So he jumps in, he does his verse. They're listening to him. So these producers are like, these guys, they're thinking like some kids who don't know anything or whatever they're doing. So he sent his voice like, hey, okay. Jules turns to me and he goes like, hey, boys wako ni mkali. You want wapi umse? I'm like, hey, he's from Niger, West Africa. And hey, yeah, he's doing like, yeah, he's done justice to that beat. Then he goes like, I hope pia wewe. I'm like, you don't worry. Because me, I know what we are. We are beasts. We've been doing this. We know what we are. So I get in and I do my verse. And I get out. Now, when you enter the booth, you can't really hear them. So I'm just seeing them smiling, big smiles and stuff. Even Fahrenheit is just there smiling and they're all like, hey. Then when I walk out, they're like, hey. guy, like what? Like your verse is fire. I'm like, hey. So I'm like, okay, but I don't want to do for the ad libs, the background vocals. So the producer who was JL's producer goes like, I'll do them for you. So the ad libs in that song are not mine.
Oh wow.
They are from like that producer. Because he was so jazzed. He was like,
he felt the vibe.
He
Wow.
felt the vibe.
Wow.
So I'm like, again, here we are creating that. So then Fahrenheit tells the chick, sit down, we teach you the chorus. So he teaches the chorus. So we are there on the side to sing. Now this is the last part of the puzzle. If it doesn't fit, the whole thing just falls apart. Like hot verses, no chorus. Come on, like you failed. You have to, like you've already impressed guys. You have to take it all the way to the finish line. So she does the chorus. She practices and she gets into the booth. So and here's the thing about her, and I want to give her credit wherever she is, because to me, like I said, when I met her, I told her like I want to mentor and help you like really, like, because you really have a nice voice. So in the video, she's not in the video, thanks to a few issues with Fahrenheit Pia that led to her not being able to be in the video. But she did like her voice is just like one of the best voices I have ever heard to date. She was our Karun for us. At that moment, I felt like we found our Karun. You know, the way Karun was Camp Mula. So she did the hook. And it was just like, again, we felt that moment for like, this is a hit.
Yeah.
We finished this.
Yeah.
Everyone in the studio was just like, even guys who are just coming in just to, like, yo, give me the keys to the gate. They're just like, this chick for her first time, and she did it like that. She did it really well. So these guys are now like, we check when we're done, like, they go like, we are doing a video for this song. As we didn't know shit about like video, we didn't really care. We just said like, as we are doing another song, we needed to do another song. We release, our friends like it and stuff. Now that's the part of growing as an artist. You start as doing it as for fun, then it gets to a point where now you have to decide like, am I doing this seriously? Is it going to be? And if you're doing it seriously, now you have to understand you are a brand. So when you're doing a brand, there's everything that needs to be considered, from your kind of music, the type of music that you're doing, the way you dress, the way you talk, your lifestyle and everything, because that's what now creates stuff like that. That's a brand. Like, it's all packaged. When you get someone who understands what the music business is, not just music, what a music business is, he starts to look at you like a product. Yeah. And as this, how do we polish this product and make it like, likable to everyone else out there? How do we get people to? So it's a whole package. So any artist out there, because I know there are many artists who just, go around just recording and they think like, I'm the hottest rapper. We used to do that, like we thought the same of ourselves, but quite clearly years down the line now you start to understand more.
It's much deeper.
Yeah. You can be lucky and get discovered. I mean, there's YouTube and all these things. You can get lucky and it just, clicks off and stuff. It happens. I mean, people like Betty, like the Kenyan chick, Hashi, like people clicked with it, and same as Camp Mula, and it works for some people. For some other people, you have to push it. Like, you have to really push it and brand it. So when you build it, then you're consistent. And when you're consistent, it's hard to lose, relevance in that industry. So it's being really important.
It's being conscious of the process, and I think that's another thing we've talked about a lot today. A lot of the conversation we've had has revolved around like, understanding, like being conscious of like what's going on. So I think when we're having this conversation about like the mixtape and stuff, it's like in retrospect, I don't know, for me personally, I think we all understood somehow innately, like you said at the time, that we were doing something special. But I don't think consciously, I personally was, maybe I didn't see it as clearly as I do now, but I think retrospectively you can kind of see there was a process we were going through, and we were somehow, maybe we knew that there was something special. We didn't know where things were coming from, but we were just doing it. So, but it's like now, if we find a way to hone in and like have a grasp of what's going on in those moments, like what's really going on, like, okay, how do we repeat this again? If you'd like to get in touch with the Represented Podcast, feel free to hit up at Represented Podcast on Instagram or email us at representedpodcast@gmail.com. This show is hosted and created by myself, Kanyeki Kamawe. Editing by Lucid and myself. Video directed by James Kamawe. Video editing by myself, Kanyeki Kamawe. Intro music by Lucid and Mari Nasiso.